studied all of the cosmologies. Not all of them. You don't have to study all of them, but you have to have a knowledge of the Chinese, the Mayan, the Greek, the Indian, the Arabian, the Persian, the Roman. If you don't know all of these traditions, then you cannot revert back to what was known anciently forever before the Copernican revolution. And so that was that the universe is in the shape of a man. And we just simply cannot hide from this or run away from it. All the occult scientists knew that man was the measure of the universe. So if you look at the body of the man, it's a torso, which is an anagram for Taurus. And Taurus, or the Taurus field, is the only way that energy works. There is only one form in existence, and it is actually the atomic form. An atom is a torus field. Whether it's a hydrogen or a carbon atom, matters not. They're all toruses. And a torus is an anagram for tree. So the Yggdrasil tree in the middle of the garden is a tauri, a torus. And in the middle of the donut-shaped torus is a hyperboloid. That word bol is the word for tree in many languages, bol. And it's the word for ball as well, because it's the inverse of the ball. So the hyperboloid torus is the model of the universe. It's the model of the atom. It's the model of the human being. It's the model of the terra. Terra firma, by the way, is another way of saying Torah firma. Because in the middle of the disk of the terra firma, the torus firm, and that's what the firmament is as well, it's only the outside of the donut. This dome that we're looking for, it's only the outside of the donut torus field. So we have to go back to the true model. All is atom. All is atoms, whether they are big or small. If you want to know how everything works, all is atom. And the universe works like this. The earth is in the middle of a tree, a torus tori. And that's what the Nordics called the Yggdrasil tree, in the middle of the garden. It is a magnetic mountain, and it's the spinal column of the whole system of planets, going upward and downward almost forever. Okay, so we are in the mid-plane, the Midgard. It's a plane of inertia. Okay, in every atom there is a plane of inertia. Well, plane of inertia turns out to be planet of Eartha. Inertia is the same word as Eartha, because all that is earth is inertial, and all that is magnetic and stimulating creatively the earth plane is turning. The earth turns not. What is turning is the solar energy. And I'm going to show you a 3-minute video now that I've done my little talk. In a minute, when I get another chance to talk, of a genius called Pierluigi Ighina, died in 2004. And I'm going to show you a 3-minute video where he proves that the earth does not move. Proves it. Okay? And he was a colleague of Guglielmo Marconi, the inventor of the radio, for 10 years. And both of these gentlemen discovered that the earth doesn't move and it's stationary. And I'm going to show you that video and other videos on this genius so we can get them translated into English and put an end forever to the nonsense that this earth is moving. Not only do we have Sagnac, Michelson Morley, Michelson Gale, George Airy, and others prior to them in the 1700s, proving that the earth is stationary, but we do now have a mainstream academic scientist that the whole world glorifies, Marconi, who was a stationary earther. So we'll get into that in due time.
As everybody's sitting there, and as Santos has just mentioned that, do we want to see his first video then?
Sure.
Everybody happy to watch this video?
Yeah, let's go for it. Sure.
All right, guys, how do I share screen?
Series will tell you. We can't hear you, Series. I'll tell you. Go to the right to the top of the box that you've got, Santos, and you'll see a person with a cross, a little sort of wheel, and 3 dots.
Yep.
Press the 3 dots, and it should say share screen, full screen, or share screen.
Thank you. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is the 3-minute video. As you can see here, it's 3 minutes. This is the title. Please remember the title, you guys, because you guys and the listeners, you are leading the world in science, okay? Not scientism, science. Science is a good word, a very good word, okay? And we are scientists because we point to and we do experiments. Remember, Tesla said the scientists of today, you know, get lost in equations and mathematics and exchange experiments for mind-numbing equations, and they make a picture of reality that is totally unreal. Well, that's what you're going to hear from the mouth of this genius, Pierluigi Ighina. Now, before I do that, I just want to click on these other videos for the sake of the listeners. Here are some of the other experiments proving the Earth does not move. Here is the Sagnac experiment. Please take a note of this, the title here so you can find it. Okay, that's Sagnac's experiment. Now, the thing with Sagnac and these other guys is that they have not reached the mainstream acceptance as Marconi. So that's what's going to knock the globies right off the bottom of their Santa ball. Because Marconi, we can't hide him under the carpet like Sagnac here, okay? And here we've got Michelson-Morley. I haven't pulled up the Michelson-Gale one, but that was done later than the late 1800s to counter Einstein's general relativity in 1915, okay? Not his special relativity of 1905. So Michelson-Gale is another experiment. And then here's George Airy. They call it Airy's failure. Now, these other 3, I'm providing those as a backdrop to this one of Marconi's, guys, because the importance of the Marconi one is very, very significant because he's in the books. He is in the books and not ridiculed. This is a scientist who gave the world the radio and many other inventions. Now, I'm going to have to translate this, so please let me know if the volume is good.
Vale, la quale principale è che queste conoscenze adesso fa ridere, perché è mai possibile dire che la Terra è ferma e gira l'energia. Eppure quando vanno a mandare su i missili.
Okay. What he's about to show this interviewer a machine which proves that the Earth is stationary. Okay? Now, there's going to be 4 major points that you will learn in these 3 minutes that I hope that everyone takes and shares with all the doubters that they know. Okay? The first point he's saying here is to prove that the Earth is firm and stationary is very, very easy to do. Essentially, that's what he's saying here. And the first point he's going to make is when missiles are launched, they have to take a curved linear trajectory. They cannot go directly. Now this is something very interesting. I didn't know that until I heard it from this guy.
Sì, sopra, ma non possono andare direttamente, ma devono prendere una traiettoria che è il movimento rotatorio del Sole che fa spostare per arrivare a quel punto.
There you go. Now, what he just said was that to launch a missile, you have to launch it in a curved trajectory in order to overcome the turning magnetic energy of the sun. Okay? Point number one. He just said that. Okay, here is a scientist and he's got all his machines. He's not just anyone saying it.
Quando voi sparate, siete dei cacciatori voi altri, no?
No.
Beh, il cacciatore quando spara mette dentro la pallottola e poi spara, ma dentro nella canna c'è una spirale che lo fa girare per vincere il movimento rotatorio dell'energia che sente.
Okay, another example. A gun barrel, he said, inside of all gun barrels there are spirals. Why? So the bullet can turn, and as it exits the barrel, it is spinning. Why does it need to spin? Because it needs to overcome the rotating, turning magnetic energy of the sun. Now, the premise of this man and Marconi's energy understanding is that there are two energies. There is the spiraling, rotating energy of the sun coming from above, which is what we call the ether, the turning field. And then he says that there is the earth energy. So there is solar energy and earth energy. The sun's energy is spiraling in a clockwise manner, and it spirals and expands. And then when it reaches the earth, it is turned around, and then the spiral is counterclockwise, and it is going upward. And he says this is what he and Marconi discovered. There is only these two energies. So what we've learnt so far is very interesting, because he is acknowledging that the solar energy is turning, it is rotating, and in order for bullets and missiles to overcome that, they have to take a curved trajectory, or the bullet must be spinning to overcome this magnetic field. And this is probably what people are referring to as the Coriolis effect. I'll get into that if we have to.
Invece l'uomo crede che la Terra è... Ma Ighina ha fatto un apparecchio talmente sensibile.
E questo, scusi?
Ighina, il professor Ighina. Lo conoscete, no? È quello che studia là, che fa dei grandi studi.
Contemporaneo?
Laggiù in Bassa Italia. Ighina.
Solo io non lo conosco.
Ad ogni modo, ha fatto un apparecchio talmente sensibile che la Terra, appena che si muove un decimo di millimetro, si riscontra. Allora la Terra è ferma o si muove?
Oh, this is beautiful. Now, he's referring to a guy called Ighina, who comes from southern Italy. And he made a machine, he said, that can detect the movement of the Earth 1/10 of a millimeter. Now, his argument is, how is it possible that the Earth is moving? This scientist in southern Italy has made a machine that can detect 1/10 of a millimeter of movement of the Earth. Now he asks the interviewer, you tell me now, is the Earth moving or is it still?
Secondo questi apparecchi?
Questo apparecchio può vedere che la Terra è ferma.
Did you hear that? La terra è ferma. He said, according to this machine, the Earth is still. La terra è ferma. That's terra firma. Okay, so he's saying it's firm, it's fixed, it does not move. Now here is the machine which proves it. Let me show you the machine, then I will explain how it works.
Ecco, voi vedete vedete, qui c'è energia solare e energia terrestre. Lo vedete questo che è fermo?
Sì.
Noi vediamo quello là che si muove, perché l'energia...
Okay, so what he's showing is that everything in his room is still, is it not? Well, the interviewer says yes it is. And he's got, where you saw that strobe light, he has a strobe light lighting up two fields. The earth field, the earth energy or spiral, and the solar spiral. And then he points up to this machine up here, and he's showing how it's showing the illusion of movement. Let's watch that.
solare che fa girare il movimento della Terra.
Cioè lei dice l'ombra praticamente.
È l'ombra, noi vediamo l'ombra, perché questo è fermo, è per quello che fra 15 e 20...
So what he's showing clearly all the machinery is still, and yet it appears to move. And what he's explaining is that the strobe light is catching that effect because the solar energy is rotating. Now these are the words of a genius, guys. I'm only the translator here, okay?
20 anni cominceranno a credere perché sono convinti che la Terra è ferma.
See, and he says in 20 years mankind will understand this because mankind is still observing effects and not causes, and their senses are being fooled by effects.
Ma ad esempio, quando tipo adesso i russi e gli americani, qua tutto il mondo ha i satelliti, no? E proprio il satellite, da satellite diciamo ha un obiettivo.
È uguale, solo che invece di credere che la Terra gira l'energia solare.
Ah, è l'energia che gira.
È solare che gira.
E lei in base a quale conoscenze?
Guglielmo Marconi ha messo una antenna in alto.
Okay, did you hear him mention Guglielmo Marconi? Now, the interviewer is saying, well, how do you know that that the Earth is firm? How do you know? He says, my friend Guglielmo Marconi. He said he made an antenna, and the top part of the antenna extended into the heavens to draw in solar energy. The bottom part of the antenna was projected into the ground to capture the Earth's energy. Okay, let me just continue.
Basso trovate il ritmo Sole-Terra. L'energia solare scende a spirale con l'indicazione di strondo.
Right, now he's explaining that that what they discovered, Marconi discovered, he discovered Earth and solar energy. He discovered these two forms of energy. And when he put his testing equipment to it, he discovered that one of the fields is not rotating. The Earth's spiral does not rotate. It spirals, but there's no rotation, whereas the ether is rotating as it's spiraling. Now, what he's explaining now is that the solar energy comes from the sun in a spiral, and it's right-handed.
Entra nella Terra, riesce nuovamente nella Terra a senso contrario.
It enters into the Earth and re-exits the Earth in a counterclockwise spiral.
Perché è rovesciato.
And that's it. Okay, so what did we learn from this? Well, we've learned that that it's been proven with scientific experiments that the Earth does not move. So the point being here, friends, is that we are arguing about a matter. When we talk about the flat Earth or the shape of it, whether it's rectangular, concave, convex, ball, square, flat, we are arguing something that is of secondary importance. What precedes form is motion. You see, Copernicus, his book was on the revolutions of the celestial spheres. So spheres shape and form is secondary to revolutions or the movement. And the Copernican revolution was based just on that, on movement. So what precedes form is the first principle, that of motion. So I would be attacking the point of whether it moves or not, rather than what shape the Earth has, because science has proven beyond any doubt at all whatsoever that the Earth is stationary. They've proven beyond any doubt that it's immovable, as the scriptures say. I mean, the scriptures say that the Lord made the Earth stationary, immovable, firm, and it will never be made to totter. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Thank you for that, Santos.
I'm getting free energy ideas.
I wasn't expecting you to come on with a video, and anyway, it was a perfect time to show everybody, or anybody who's watching, that we don't move. What did you think, Mark?
I liked it. I thought it was great. I'd never heard nor seen anything like that, and again, it goes along with the Michelson-Morley and Airy's failure, which I quote as many times as I can. Airy's failure, the quote from that I think was great, where she said, either I'm wrong or the Earth isn't moving, or I've failed or the Earth isn't moving. And again, that goes into the conditioning. Well, of course he failed, because we all know, we've known for 20 generations that the Earth is moving and that we're flying through space. So obviously he screwed up. Little did he know, if he was alive today, that it would be the opposite. So great stuff.
Actually,
yeah, Santos, you've not shown us stuff like that before.
So far it even confirms my idea of how the sun and moon are the center of a toroidal field, and that we feel the fields that we are in when we perceive them, that we are a field in their fields. Actually, and then the moving part is the sun and its energy, and not the Earth itself, but in a spin in the opposite.
Yeah, I wanted to add, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. About that Earth energy that Santos was talking about, could that be what we call gravity? Because the other day in the Hangout with the Morgile, he was talking about electrostatic energy causing things to basically, get stuck to the ground, what we call gravity, this vertical acceleration of objects. So could this Earth energy that you were talking about be what we call gravity? I think he's muted.
Yeah.
Santos.
Yeah, well, look, gravity, okay. Well, gravity is a what I call a false god, because first and foremostly, it's a beautiful word, and it does explain what the effect that people are seeing, but they don't realize that it simply does not exist, not on a ball, not in any shape or form at all. What actually does occur is dielectric acceleration.
Right, yeah. That's what I was talking about, some kind of vertical acceleration of objects.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, though, all of these discussions about gravity and dielectric acceleration and all of that just are not useful at all when it comes to where we live on a horizontal plane, because all the things that we see falling to the ground, that's just due to density. And everything that goes up is due to buoyancy, and so it's a different field, a different area. You cannot use one to explain the other. So, but as for gravity, what actually is occurring is the other half of it's the other half of magnetism. Okay, so magnetism is force. It's divergent centrifugal force, whereas gravity, what we call gravity, it's dielectric avoidance or dielectric acceleration, and it is the opposite principle, which is inertia and acceleration. So for all the force and motion out there, the opposite force, inertia and acceleration, is what we are calling erroneously gravity. But if you want to be technically correct, it is dielectric avoidance.
Right. Yeah, the Morgal was calling it electrostatic energy, and he was saying that, you know, Nikola Tesla knew about this, the Egyptians, that's why they built the pyramids, to gather this kind of energy.
Yes, yes.
That's really strange, you know. Those words you just used there, Oliver, both of those were what someone was trying to describe what happened on 9/11, that you call it electric when it's what was it again? Dielectric.
Yeah, dielectric.
Yeah, but we are taught it's electric. It's dielectric. Sorry,
yeah,
carry on.
Is static electricity. Okay, so it's the opposite of motion, force and motion, which is another modality of electricity. They're just two different modalities of the same field, and the field is the ether which is moving above the stationary Earth plane. So everything above us in the air, it's a magnetic field, and it is turning, it is rotating, and that turning and churning is producing all of the phenomena. Okay, so the noumenal world, the causal world of the gods, i.e. the Sun, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, these are the archons, the cosmocrators, the Elohim, the gods of creation, or the archangels, Michael, Uriel, Samael. They are creating on this projection screen, which is the Earth. It's a theatre. They are projecting their minds, their noumenal force onto the Earth. So this spiral energy from the turning ether, which Ighina calls solar energy, it is turning and churning, and they are all turning in their different orbits and their different time periods. They all have their different cyclical revolutions, and due to the combinations of all of these revolutions in the heavens, all different creation, all different manner of creation is occurring on the Earth plane, on the plane of inertia, the planet of Eartha. And so when the Copernican revolution began in 1540, it was totally a revolution that just swept the world, and it was pushed by the Jesuits, who were founded around about the same time. I'm going to expose them in a presentation soon. I'm going to expose all the papal families behind globalism and the globe.
All 13.
And so look out for that. I've got all the material ready to go. It'll be a 2-3 hour presentation, and it will comprehensively smash globalism forever. For people who want to know these things, of course. For the consensus herd mind people, they will just continue in their delusions. They're not meant to awaken. So really, the flat Earth is the ultimate intelligence test. All the unintelligent ones, they're trying to fall off the bottom of the Santa ball, desperately trying to fall off, because they haven't seen anyone fall off the edge of the flat Earth yet. So they're going to be the first in history to attempt to fall off. Looks like they're struggling and trying very hard to do that, without any evidence, of course, to support their theories. So this Copernican theory, when it came, it was edging out Tycho Brahe's true cosmology, because Tycho Brahe was spot on. he figured out that the sun is in a vortex and turning, and all the planets are turning in their epicycles round the sun because they are captured by the sun's vortex. Okay, the sun's vortex is the second biggest vortex in our universe. The Earth's is the biggest vortex, or donut, or atom, or torus, hyperboloid torus field, put it that way. And the sun's is second, and the sun's is turning, whereas the Earth's is not. Therefore, as the sun's vortex is turning like a hurricane, it is causing all the other planets to be captured by its vortex. So Tycho Brahe was spot on. The sun is vortexing through the skies, and it goes up to the Tropic of Cancer, where it compresses, and then it expands out to the Tropic of Capricorn, where it rarefies, and it's a breath, Bra-theos. That's what breath is. It's two words, Brahma or Abraham, and theos. So as Brahma breathes out and expands, he creates the world. It's spontaneous creation. So the arguments about whether the Earth's been around for 6 billion years or 6 days, as the literalists claim, it's a null argument. It's pointless, totally pointless, because you'll never know. And creation does not work like that. Creation, the creator is infinite intelligence, unlimited, unconditioned, and energy. And the creator has the seeds of all creation in the already existing, the blueprints, in the counterspatial realm, in the ethereal realm. So spontaneous creation is not even a matter of argument. This is known to happen. The ancients knew that this is how creation occurs. So there never was one Adam and one Eve. We are all Adam and Eve. And our bodies are seeded in the counterspatial world. And so when God thinking decides to create, it just appears in a torus field, already perfectly developed. It doesn't need to evolve. It doesn't need to grow wings and tails and teeth, and that everything is created according to its seed, as all the scriptures say. Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Zendavesta, they all speak about these magnetic blueprints of seeds. And worlds are created like that. This world, this earth we live on, was created like that. It's a spontaneous, sonoluminescent creation. This is how powerful we are in our unconditioned God state, that we can create worlds. So this place where we live, it's totally easy and fundamental and basic to know what it looks like and how it works. We cannot miss it. If we miss it, we are considered to be stupid Gentiles, stupid goy that are unlearned and have their hearts still uncircumcised. You see, the hearts need to be circumcised. In other words, the spirit needs to be activated. We need to activate our higher intelligence. And once we do, we know the way everything works. We should not be groping about in the darkness and looking and listening to pseudoscientists and being deceived. We should know. And we do know. We have the ancient teachings. All is atum. Everything is atomic. Everything is torus fields. And you have to understand the torus fields to understand where you live and how creation happens.